The scariest thing to face in Lorcana is not what most people think. It's not Be Prepared. It's not a late game Elsa. It's not Maleficent either, although that card is really annoying. The thing that strikes fear in your opponent the most in this game is a 6-year-old girl followed by a baby cat. Sort of. Yes, Lilo and Simba, in my opinion, is the best combo in Lorcana, and nothing wins me more games consistently than going first, dropping a turn 1 Lilo with a turn 2 Simba to back her up. I played 50 ladder games on Pixelborn with the Emerald Amber deck, and I went first 29 times. Out of those 29 games, I was able to find a Lilo and Simba in my hand by turn 2 11 times, which is about 38% of the time, and 38% is a crazy high consistency rate. Here are all the games that I got both Lilo and Simba going first. Let's just see how we do. Game 6, we see Lilo Simba right in our opening hand. We also have Flynn Rider in case he doesn't drop a creature on turn 1 for more aggression, and Cheshire Cat for a 3-drop. This is a top tier starting hand. We play Lilo and he misses his 1-drop, so we play Flynn turn 2. And he still doesn't have a creature on turn 2 after dropping a lantern. We go turn 3 Cheshire Cat, turn 4 Hans, and turn 5 Cusco, and the game ends very quickly. We didn't even have to play the Simba. It isn't until game 15 that we see another Lilo Simba start. If he misses his turn 1 drop, we could go hyper aggro with turn 2 Lilo and Stitch. He drops a Duke, so we have to go Simba. And he's also playing green-yellow, and drops his own Simba on defense. We have a crazy aggressive hand though, and by the start of turn 4, we're already up 10-1 in quests. My opponent manages to eventually stabilize and trade and control the board, but we're up way too much lore, and Lilo swings in for the final kill. On game 17, we play Lilo and our opponent drops a Maleficent on turn 1. We decide to go for Lilo and Stitch on turn 2 instead of Simba, since if he trades Maleficent for Lilo, we still have another one and Stitch out. He does trade. We drop Simba turn 3, and he drops Rafiki, which annihilates our board. Turn 3 Rafiki into Simba is probably one of the best responses for purple. My opponent starts playing his own Lilo and Simbas, and though we get a really early lead in quest, he stabilizes too quickly and we can't recover from Rafiki, and we end up losing. Maybe the best way to beat Lilo Simba is to play Lilo Simba. Game 21, we play a mirror matchup against another green-yellow. If you get Lilo Simba in the mirror while going first, I think you're just going to win because the opponent just can't outrace you. I think this matchup is kind of stupid due to how important the coin flip to go first is. I get a very big quest lead and my opponent can't do anything to stop me from hitting 20 lore first, as green-yellow lacks significantly in board control and removal. Game 25 is another mirror matchup, and again, if you go first with Lilo Simba, it's kind of a joke. History repeats itself as my opponent is unable to keep up with my quest tempo. Game 30, we're against the mirror green-yellow again. And by now, you should all know how the story goes. This one is pretty much a blowout. Just ignore everything he does and quest to victory for a quick turn 5 win. Game 38, we don't actually start with the Simba in our hand. But since this game made the video, you can probably guess what's coming. Easy. This game we're up against Yellow Steel. This is probably my deck's worst matchup, as he can boost out incredibly fast grab your swords using Ariel. He has Tinkerbells, and he also has low drop creatures for defense. We go very aggressive questing, and my opponent gains control of the board with a turn 4 grab your sword. We inch our way closer to 19 lore points and should have the win. But my opponent finds the perfect plays and songs with Ariel and hangs on for dear life after wiping out board after board and refilling his hand with a whole new world. I can never find a character to stick on the board for that last lore point, and somehow we actually end up losing the game. So big props to my opponent, Pixelborn DFF8B58CEE4A, for playing a perfect game. Game 39, our opponent misses his first 3 turn character drops, so we play Flynn Rider instead of Simba on turn 2. He finally plays a Jafar on turn 4, but realizes he can't keep up with my quests and simply concedes. Game 45, our opponent is playing Purple Red. We go turn 2 Simba, turn 3 Mickey, but he has a Rafiki to answer our Simba. We still get pretty far ahead in quests, and once I start dropping my 4 and 5 ink threats, he just can't find any answers to them all before I hit 20 lore and win the game. Game 48, we're against Purple Red. We go for the turn 1 Lilo and turn 2 Simba to get our quick quest lead. He eventually stabilizes the board, but not before he's down 16 to 4 lore. Since nearly every single card in our deck is a character card, most of which that are 2 or 3 lore threats, it isn't long before he runs out of steam and succumbs to the final finishers. Game 50 is our final ladder game, and we see an absolute trash opening hand and send 6 cards into the garbage bin. Our deck gives us a little sweat and slow rolls us as the final card we draw is Lilo. Perfect. We'll see how we do against the alleged best deck in the metagame. He has a Befuddle on our turn 1 Lilo, which is incredibly annoying, and he's running Rafiki, which trades for our early Mickey Mouse, which was a last minute change in our deck, getting rid of Mother Knows Best. We curve out into our big drops, and he just can't find enough ink or an answer to double Kuzco, and we win our 50th ladder match with yellow-green. So yeah, if you guys want to win games, just win the coin flip and go turn 1 Lilo and turn 2 Simba, and the rest is cake. All in all, we went 9-2 when playing first with Lilo and Simba in our starting draw. And coincidentally, the two decks we lost to both ran Lilo and Simba. So I guess you could technically say that Lilo Simba decks won every single game in this video. What do you guys think? Is Lilo and Simba the best two card combo in Lorcana?